But anywho, it's fiction, so I don't really care. Like, actually crazy. Peak reading vibes. Kind of like, when is this gonna happen? Hello and welcome to yet another video. Today we're going to be doing a fun little reading challenge. I've been thinking about doing this video for a while because I've seen a couple people do this and it just seems like a fun little thing. Also, of recent days my screen time has been up a little bit, especially since finishing my exams, because I think when I was doing my exams, like I said, when I was doing my exams I didn't like spend a lot of time on my phone, so I'm kind of gone back and like gone and spent twice as much time on my phone. So I'm wanting to put that down a little bit, drop the screen time. And so as you can tell from the thumbnail and from the title, we are going to replacing pickups for pages. So what does that mean? Basically, so I have my screen time activated on my phone, and within the screen time, so obviously you have your however many hours a day you spend, but there's also, wait a second, let me find it. There's also this thing called pickups, which is basically like how many times you pick up your phone in a day. And so because I didn't want to do, with screen time it would be hours, and I remember, like I said last time I did an hour reading challenge, I didn't really like that and it put a lot of pressure on me to read, and so reading stopped being something I did for fun and instead became something that I had to do because I had a certain amount of hours that I had to complete. So I thought this would be a bit more fun because it's kind of like my F1 drivers choose how many pages I read challenge that I did, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So I prefer this rather than screen time hours because I think reading pages is a lot easier for me than reading a certain amount of hours. So we took last week's pickups because obviously this week we're in the middle of the week, it is Tuesday, so we took last week's pickups, I have it here, and basically for each day of the week we're going to read a minimum of corresponding pages to the amount of pickups that I did in the same day last week, if that makes sense. So for example, today is Tuesday, so last Tuesday I did 133 pickups, which is quite a lot. And so that means that if I was starting this challenge today, I'm starting it tomorrow, but if I was starting this challenge today, I would do 133 pages. Tomorrow I am doing 116 pages because I did 116 pickups. I think this is just a fun way to try and, like, at the same time take stock of how often I'm picking up my phone a day, because a lot of times it's just pickups for no reason. Like, it's not because I got an important notification, it's just because I'm bored and I want something to do, so I pick up my phone. And so I think this challenge will help me realize that there are definitely days when I pick up my phone way too much, but I think it will also just be a fun way to replace screen time by reading time, because I said at the beginning of this month I wanted to read a lot this month, but with the new season of Euphoria coming out and then with all the time I spend on my phone, I've just been doing a little bit more of other things rather than reading. We're hopefully going to change that in this vlog. We're hopefully going to get back into reading a bit more and it's going to be fun. I'm very much looking forward to this. So just like the last reading challenges I've done, we're going to do it over a 5-day week, so that is starting tomorrow and then 5 days. I really should start these things like on a Monday to Friday, that'd be so much easier, but instead we're starting it on a Wednesday. Because why not? Obviously, as you know, if you watched my last video, which is my 24-hour reading challenge, I'm in the middle of the Goldfinch. This will be the first book that I pick up. After that, I don't know. We have obviously some books on my TBR that I haven't yet gone round to. For example, I'm bringing the Ashes in that series. We also have the last book, The Clockwork Princess, so the last book in the Infernal Devices series, which I also started in my 24-hour reading challenge, so I might also pick that up next. We'll really just see how I'm feeling when I finish this monster of a book. So we are about just under halfway in this book. I want to finish this book in this challenge. I want to read this book and at least one other book in this challenge, because otherwise it will just become like a reading vlog for the Goldfinch and I don't want that to happen. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to getting more pages read, to spending a little less time on my phone. There you go. So without any further ado, grab yourself a nice warm or cold drink and let's get right on into the video. Kind of in a backlighting situation, but I'm sat against my window. The window is open. I don't know if you can tell, you can probably hear it, but it is raining. So I'm just sat at my window because it's actually really peaceful, because like with the rain and everything. I'm about to start reading the 116 pages that I have to read today. I hope you can hear me over the rain now, although it's not that loud, but still. So I'm reading the Goldfinch still. If you watch my 24-hour reading challenge, which if you haven't, you definitely should, then you will have seen me start this book. I'm at page 300 exactly, so that means I'll get to page 416. So honestly, that would probably take me about an hour and a half. I might just sit here and just read the whole thing because I'm so nice. I'm in like my blanket, but I'm against the window, the window's open. I have the nice sound of rain, a slight breeze, and obviously like, I have the tree just outside. So honestly, this is actually like peak reading vibes. I did want to go and read in a park today, but and it rained, so we had to change of plans, but I'm actually happy. Like, it's not even making me want to just sit here and read this book. So far the book is definitely interesting. I keep getting confused by the timeline because I feel like time's going by, but then we find out it hasn't even been a year since like the beginning of the book, and I get a bit confused about that. I'm not disliking it. I will say it's definitely very well written. Definitely very different from the genre of books that I typically read. I watched the trailer for the movie though this morning, and it looks really good, so it made me want to read it, because I was kind of like, not slumping necessarily, but I was kind of losing interest, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna watch the trailer and see if it's good, if it has promise, and if not, then we might just put it down, because it's such a big book. I don't want to waste like a lot of time on it. But then I watched the trailer, and the trailer did actually look really interesting, so I'm gonna keep reading. Not much has happened, and I feel like we're probably gonna have a kind of situation where it's like half his life is on like the first year after the thing, and then the other half is like later on, because so far like the pace of it has been a lot slower, and I feel like it just can't keep this same slow pace, because in the movie at some point he's like an adult, and here he's like 14, 15 years old. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I definitely, yeah, I kind of have no idea where this book is going, and every time something's happened I've kind of not expected it, and I do just think that's because I don't read this genre normally, and so it's all very new. Anyway, I'm just gonna sit here, read my book, take in the fresh air, take in the rain. The 116 pages. It's actually perfect because part 3 starts at exactly page 116. Part 3. So that was like literally perfect timing. A lot of stuff just went down in the 100 or so pages that I read. Like, actually crazy. I'm almost halfway though. I'm now on page 421. Definitely an interesting book, but it's also kind of crazy. Like, it's not something I'd ever read again, but at the same time I'm not disliking it. But it really will depend on where it goes, because a lot of the time what I don't like the characters in it, but I think that's intentional. I think they're not necessarily supposed to be the most likable characters. But yeah, I love the way it's written. It's very visual writing style, and so that's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it so far, honestly. I am looking forward to seeing where this is going, because he's still obviously a child here, and like I said, he's got to get to an adult. But I've still got 400 pages to go, so we'll continue it tomorrow. As for now, I'm going to bed. Okay, so it is day 2 of this little reading challenge. So yeah, last night obviously I didn't read anything more, and then I haven't read anything else this morning because I really just got up like an hour ago. So I'm on page 421, and I've got 113 pages to read because I had 103 pickups, which is quite a bit. But so that would get me to do some maths. Can't bother to do that in my head, do it with a calculator. Page 534. So I think I'm gonna just sit here and read. Got some stuff to do this afternoon, but I think this morning I'm just gonna try and get through as much of these pages as possible now, and then that way I can also continue reading. Like, I'm not necessarily gonna get to page 534 and stop for the day if I'm interested in the book, because I don't want to just read this book during this challenge, which means I gotta kind of read it a bit outside of this little vlog, like not just within the pages, because otherwise I will literally just spend the whole week just reading this. So like I said, it was really perfect last night that it ended right at the end of like a new part. That was really good timing, and things happened. It was crazy. So I'm looking forward to see what's gonna happen next, because it was a big change what happened at the end of where I got to. So I'm really interested to see where it goes there. I'm also still confused because so far I'm on page 421, and at the back it says that he ultimately gets drawn into the criminal underworld. So I'm on page 421, so halfway, and we've had not a mention of this criminal underworld. So that's like definitely interesting. I'm kind of like, when is this gonna happen? Because we've gotten halfway through the book and nothing's happened. Not nothing's happened, things have happened, but there's been no criminal underworld. And I feel like the blurb is not very good. And maybe that's like this version, maybe there are other blurbs that are better, but I feel like, yeah, the blurb doesn't really correspond to the book. It's really the most basic baseline blurb there is. But I guess, hey, if it gets you interested without spoiling any of the facts, then fine. But it also feels a bit misleading, because a lot of things happen that are not really in the blurb, and then the blurb only really speaks about like 2% of the book. So, but anywho, so far with this book, I will say it's kind of weird. Like, there are parts of it I like, and then there are whole parts of it that I don't like, because it's kind of at times boring. Like, we literally had a whole page which was just him explaining the different like techniques in upholstery, because he does upholstery at times. And like, hey, maybe some people who like upholstery will find that really interesting. I did not. I found that, I was like reading it and I was like, Jesus Christ. It was a whole page. It was just talking about upholstery, and I was like, I didn't need to know that. But aside from that, it's really well written. So even the part on upholstery, like, it's very well written. So that kind of keeps me interested, but it's definitely, yeah, I really don't know how I feel about it. I also feel like, well, we've taken 420 pages. Like I said, for one, haven't mentioned the criminal underworld. For two, it's basically been like 2 years of his life in 420 pages. So literally half the book is 2 years of his life. I know at one point he gets to be an adult, because I saw the trailer and he's an adult in the trailer. But I don't have that much left. Like, I have half the book left. I have like 450 pages left. But you know what I mean? That's... So it took 420 pages to talk about 2 years. There's gonna be some crazy time jump. I don't know, some crazy moment of like, the next 2 years were da 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 da, you know? But hey, I'm gonna get reading and we'll see how it goes. So you know how I was literally just saying that this book was detailing so much and that nothing was happening? I'm just reading casually, you know? Literally nothing that big happens, just like a small unimportant thing, and then all of a sudden I turn the page, a new part starts, the first sentence is new part, one afternoon 8 years later. Ooh, what the hell? It doesn't even give us a like over the next few years like I thought it would. It literally just hits us with an 8-year time jump after speaking in painstaking details about like 2 years of his life. So we're at page 485. We spent 500 pages detailing these 2 years, only for the rest of the next 8 years to be summed up in one sentence. Not even a long sentence, in 5 words. There you go. That's really what I had to say. So it is day 3. Day 3? Day 3. Yesterday, I know I said I wanted to read a lot more of the book. As it is, I read only like 10 extra pages, but that's fine. I had a busy day, but I'm on page 543. Today, I've only got 88 pages to read. It's just after dinner, but it's not super late. It's like 9 o'clock. So the plan is to sit read these pages, then read as much of the book as possible. That way we can have it finished either tonight or tomorrow, because really I've only got 300 pages left. That's gonna take me like 4 hours. So I read as much as I can tonight and as much as I can tomorrow. We have it finished tomorrow. We can start a new book, because otherwise, like I said, this whole thing is literally just gonna be me reading this book. But anywho, so I think I'm gonna go take my makeup off, get into my pajamas, get into bed, and just read this book as much as I can. So I've read my 88 pages. I am so mad at this book, because what do you mean I'm at page 631 and we still haven't mentioned the bloody criminal underworld that's in the blurb? I'm actually so mad. I've got 200 pages to go. We had a whole page detailing his whole story. Where is the criminal underworld? Am I missing something? Am I misunderstanding something? I'm so mad and so confused. But oh well, we just got plot twisted. Like crazy plot twisted, and we had another time jump where it was literally we had nothing and then all of a sudden him and someone are engaged, and I'm like, what? And then afterwards we had like a kind of flashback, not flashback, sorry, like a recap of how they'd got engaged and all that. But still, I'm starting to believe that this criminal underworld is a lie. Like in the blurb it says, Theo is tormented by longing for his mother, and down the years he clings to the thing that most reminds him of her. A small captivating painting that ultimately draws him into the criminal underworld. Page 631, no criminal underworld. Had the mother, had the painting. We're missing something. So I feel really lied to by this blurb. Like, aside from the book, the book's okay. It's too long for what it is. What it is, 630 pages without the criminal underworld. But hey, it's late and I'm just mad. It's actually depressing me because I'm like, why am I reading this book? What's the point? I'm not saying I was reading it for the criminal underworld, but just the fact that 630 pages, still 200 more to go, and so much, and yet so little has happened. You know what I mean? It's one of those books. But hey, we carry on. But yeah, so I've read the pages that I needed to read, but I think I'm going to keep reading just because we're in a good part of the book. Things are happening. Who knows? Maybe the criminal underworld will show up. I finished the Goldfinch finally. Oh my god, I finished it this morning. So today I had 110 pages to read, and technically I've read them because I did it with this book. I think I read like 200 pages of this book this morning. I'm not counting it because, like I said, I didn't want to spend the whole vlog reading this book. So I was like, I'm going to finish this book and it's not going to count, and then we're going to read on top of that, and we're going to count that as the 110 pages that I have to read. But we finished it. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update what I thought, since I've pretty much read this a lot on this vlog, so I thought you deserve to see what I thought of it overall. I feel kind of lied to because everything I knew about this book, basically I bought this book because I'd seen a pin mentioning, I'll put it here, but it was something funny basically about how like this guy was, him and his boyfriend were simultaneously like, I'm not gay but I think my boyfriend might be. And then the tag on Goodreads is also LGBTQ. That's one of the tags. I can tell you there is maybe a hint of LGBTQ in this book is not even slightly a part of the story, and it's really only hinted at in one part, maybe 2 parts, and it's 860 pages. So I think hinted at in 2 parts is not enough for it to be one of the like top 6 tags on Goodreads, so I felt lied to by that. Also, like I said yesterday on the back, the criminal underworld, I feel like we got no criminal underworld. We got criminal, like a lot of legal things goes on. He also does other things I'm not going to say because plot twist, but I wouldn't say it's enough for it to be criminal underworld, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like the blurb was kind of very misleading, and not in a way that's kind of like fun where it like only talks about like the first bit and then the rest of it's like a surprise. No, I felt lied to. So that was definitely made for a kind of annoying reading because I got to the end and I was like, these things never happened, what do you mean? But it was very beautifully written, I'll give it that. At the end it kind of got a bit monologue-y and I don't love that. It was just like whole paragraphs of like moralizing and here's why this happened and here's what the author wants you to think, and it felt a bit in your face. I enjoyed the first half more than the second half, I'll say that. I just think it was 860 pages of not much. I think honestly you could have done a 400-page book that would have been pretty much the same thing. But hey, it won a Pulitzer, so it definitely does something right. I just don't think it's at all my type of book. However, this doesn't mean I don't want to read Donna Tartt, because I did like the writing style. I thought it was very beautiful, even if at times it was like too much and I was like, seriously, we don't need like a paragraph a page. But I thought it was still very beautiful, so I would like to read The Secret History, which is like her main book, her #1 book, everyone knows it, but I'm not like rushing to go pick it up, you know. So honestly, and I feel bad because I'm probably rating books when I think they're well written, but I myself personally didn't love them. Like, I don't want to give them a bad rating because I feel like it doesn't properly represent the book itself, but I know that I didn't like it, and so therefore I don't want to give it a high rating either. I'm gonna give it 2.75. I didn't love it. I'm probably never gonna read it again. I'm probably gonna unhaul this book, but I can recognize that it was very beautifully written. At parts there were some quotes which I thought really lovely, however it's just really not the book for me. So yeah, but I always feel really torn when I have to give books that I recognize are objectively good, when I have to give them bad ratings, because it's really just that I didn't like it, but that doesn't mean it's not a good book. So I don't want you guys to not read this because I do think some people will really like it. I just, unfortunately it wasn't for me, and I was so sad because I really wanted to like it. And this first half of the book, I did enjoy the first half a lot, and I was so hopeful for what it was going to be when he like got older, but then the second half just, I don't know. But anywho, put down. So today I received a very exciting package, which was some new books. So last month I read Lessons in Faking by Selina Mae, and I absolutely loved it. It was a 5-star read, and I found out that that was the first book in an interconnected trilogy. And so today the next 2 books arrived. So the next book we're going to be picking up in this reading vlog is Lessons in Forgiving by Selina Mae. I originally was going to read probably either The Clockwork Princess or something else that I've had on my TBR for a while, but this arrived and I couldn't resist. And especially after this like thought-provoking, hefty, big book, I just needed something fun, silly, a nice little romance where I wouldn't really have to think about it. I could just turn my brain off and enjoy it. And this is going to be absolutely perfect for that. So like I said, I have 110 pages. I haven't started this yet. I don't think that will take me long. I think I'm going to fly through this, and I'm really just looking forward to being able to read something where I can give my brain a break. It is again the evening after dinner, so I'm probably just going to get into bed and read this book. It is the last day of this reading challenge. We are still reading Lessons in Faking. So far I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it not less than the first one, but it's just taking me a bit longer to get into, and I think that's because the first one was a story that I already loved, you know, so getting into it was really easy, whereas this one is new characters, new story, and so I think it's just taking a bit longer because of that. But I'm really liking it. It's definitely a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to see where it's going, getting into the action and everything. But yeah, so today I have, wait a second. Today I have 121 pages that I need to read, so that's gonna get me past halfway into this book probably, and I might even see if I finish this book today, because today is just like a lazy day. As you can see, well, you can't really see, but basically it's terrible weather. It's like raining on and off all day. It's very cloudy, very overcast, so I think the plan today is just to sit on the sofa, like get myself a nice hot chocolate or something. The cat is downstairs, so there's a high chance the cat will come sit on my lap, which is so cute. I'm just gonna read this book, and honestly, because this is fast paced and the first one was so quick and easy to read, it was so addictive, there's a high chance that I'll just get this finished today. lit right now, but ignore that. I have gotten about 50 pages into the 120 pages, so I'm on page 180, so actually 60 pages, so I'm halfway. I'm enjoying this book. I like it. Like I said earlier, I do like it just a little bit less than the first one, but I do think that's just because the first one I already knew and loved the characters, and then this one, these are new characters, but they are a lot of fun and I do like it. I do also struggle with second chance romance. It's definitely not something I reach for. I think if people broke up, most of the time they broke up for a reason. But anywho, it's fiction, so I don't really care at the same time. You know, I'll read it and I'm enjoying it. It's interesting because basically, because it's second chance romance, so you have a dual timeline. You have now, and then you have so starting from when they met, which was 3 years in the past, up until, well, I don't actually know when it stops, but they broke up a year ago. So I imagine up until about a year ago. So at the moment, we have like clues as to why they broke up. Like we can see certain things in a relationship not working. We could kind of understand from like things that they say why they may have broken up, but we don't have like a definitive this is what ended things. And also basically she is a journalist at the school newspaper, and something happened a year ago, so that probably corresponded with the breakup, that kind of put her on the rocks, and so she doesn't really get any articles anymore, and this is her first big article since. And so we also don't know actually what happened. We just know that she like misquoted someone, or someone sued her for misquoting them, something like that, but we're not exactly sure what. So I'm interested to see what happens, because I'm also pretty sure that then this thing happening at the newspaper correlated with her and Henry breaking up. So that's going to be interesting to see what it was, because I do think there's a link between the two. I'm liking Henry less than Dylan, just because he's the typical like really organized guy who doesn't let people in, who doesn't share his feelings, share his emotions, share what he's thinking, share anything about himself kind of stuff. And I don't love that. Like I don't hate it, but I prefer it when they were just a little bit more open. Considering we're halfway through the book, I still don't really know anything about him, like not really, just because he hasn't opened up yet. But I do think in this second half, especially now, they're about to go to New York together for a work, because he's getting drafted into the soccer league and she's following him because she's doing a profile on him. And so I do think this weekend is going to be for them. Like we're going to discover more about Henry, we're going to discover more about what went down with their relationship, but I'm enjoying it. So like I said, I'm halfway through reading. I've got 60 pages left, so I've just been sat here on the sofa. We have the cat. She didn't come and sit on my lap, but she came and sat next to me. She's just so cute. She's just sleeping there in the sun. It's adorable. But yeah, so I'm just gonna sit here and continue reading this book, and then we'll have finished this reading challenge. We've only got 60 pages left, and honestly I think I'll read the 60 pages and then I'll just finish the book, because I'm really enjoying it. And by the time I get to 60 pages in, I'll only have like 100 pages left. It won't take me that long, so I think I'll just finish the book. Okay, so we are at the end of this vlog. I finished Lessons in Faking last night. I really like this book. It was a 4-star read. It wasn't as good as the first one, but I think the first one, just because of what it was, there was no it wasn't going to be a 5-star read. But then this, because it was like a new story and everything, and romance isn't my main genre, it was still really good, and I still really enjoyed it. It's exactly what I needed after reading the Goldfinch, which was just something easy where I could switch my brain off and just have a fun time. This whole series honestly is just that. It's not that deep, but it's just a really fun, nice romance with really great characters, great friendships, great relationships. It was really good. I can't wait to read the third one in the series. I will definitely be reading it sometime soon, hopefully reading it sometime soon. But yeah, I absolutely love this book, and I'm very happy that I picked it up after the Goldfinch. It was exactly what I needed. But yeah, so there we have it. We are at the end of this reading vlog. I read more than the 120 something pages I chose yesterday, obviously, because I finished this book, so I probably read about 200 pages, 250 pages, let's say. I was going to calculate how many pages I read over this challenge, but then I realized that because I finished the Goldfinch, like I read more than, like, I didn't read just the assigned pages each day, I read more, so I couldn't be bothered to do maths. So there we go. But I read 2 books, read one whole book, finished another book, which to be honest was long enough that it was almost as if I'd read a whole book. It was fun, honestly. I like having a number of pages to read. I think it's definitely a lot easier for me than giving myself like an amount of hours to read for, because hours is such a set thing and it takes so much time for my day. But if I give myself like 120 pages to read, it's a lot more chill, and I can just read it like spread throughout the day a bit more. So I definitely like doing this type of challenge, and I would like to do something similar again. I do think also switching pickups for pages was a fun idea, because it also, yeah, made me realize kind of I pick up my phone a bit too much, and I could read so many more books if I just replaced even half of those pickups with pages read. So that is definitely something I'm going to try and put in place, is going to be reading more and picking up my phone less. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun filming it. I got books read. Didn't get as many read. I would have liked to read 3 books. I think if the first book I picked up hadn't have been the Goldfinch, I probably could have read a 3rd book, but because the first book we picked up was so big, that was just not gonna happen. But I'm still happy. I got through 2 books. One of them was on my TBR, so we almost finished my TBR this month, which is really good. Very happy about that. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a like and hit that subscribe button. It's always very much appreciated to see a new subscriber or to see a new like or to see a new comment, so also don't hesitate to comment. And with that, I guess I must leave you. So have an absolutely wonderful week, and I will see you next Friday for my next video. Until then, bye.